Hello everyone. Today I'm going to tell you about the history of billiard or 8-ball pool. Billiard began as a lawn game similar to croquet played sometime during the 15th century in Northern Europe. It has since evolved into the present-day style of billiard or pool, table and rules. The game moved indoors to a wooden table with a simple border around the edge and green cloth on the top to simulate grass. This is why green or blue is considered the standard color. The term of billiard is derived from the French language, either from the word billiard, one of the wooden sticks, or billet, a ball. Billiards come from accounts of playing by royalty and other nobles. It has been known as the noble game of billiard since the early 18th, but there is evidence that people from all walks of life played the game since its inception. In 16,000, the game of billiard was familiar enough to the public that Shakespeare mentioned it in his play Antony and Cleopatra. In the original game, when they first brought it indoors, the ball was shoved rather than struck with a stick called mace. Now, the wooden sticks called cue. The cue stick was developed in the late 16th. When the ball lay near a rail, the mace was very inconvenient to use because of its large head. In such a case, the players will turn the mace around and use its hands to strike the ball. The handle was called a cue, meaning tail, from which we get the word cue. For a long time, only men were allowed to use the cue. Women were forced to use the mace because it was felt they were more likely to rip the cloth with the sharper cue. At some point, someone used chalk to increase friction between the billiard ball and the cue stick, and found significant improvement in their performance. Around the turn of the 18th century in Europe, the leather cue tip was developed, which allowed a player to apply side spin, top spin, or even a backspin to the ball. Billiard or pool tables originally had flat walls for rails, and their only function was to keep the ball from falling off. They used to be called banks before they called it the pool table. Billiard players discovered that the balls could bounce off the rails and began deliberately aiming at them, and therefore the bank shot was born. Wood was the table bed of a billiard table until around 1835, when slate became popular due to its durability for play and the fact that it won't warp over time like wood. In 1839, Goodyear discovered the process for vulcanization of rubber, and by 1845, it was used to make billiard cushions. Billiard or pool equipment improved rapidly in England after 1800, largely because of the Industrial Revolution. The word pool means a collective bet or ante. Many non-billiard games, such as poker, involve a pool, but it was pocket billiards that the name became attached to. In Britain, the dominant billiard game from about 1770 until the 1920s was English billiard, played with three balls and six packets on a large rectangular table. In the US, the dominant American billiard game until the 1870s was American four-ball billiards, usually played on large 11 or 12-foot, four-pocket table with four billiard balls, two of them white and two red. The first was the release of 1961 movie called The Hustler. The black and white film depicts the dark life of a pool hustler, with Paul Newman in the title role. New pool rooms opened all over the country, and for the remainder of the 60s, pool flourished until social concerns, the Vietnamese War, and a desire for outdoor, co-educational activities led to a decline in billiard interest. In 1986, The Color of Money, the sequel of Hustler, with Paul Newman in the same role and Tom Cruise as an up-and-coming professional, brought the excitement of pool to a new generation. The result was the opening of upscale pool rooms catering to people whose sense would have been offended by the old rooms if they had ever seen them. This trend began slowly in 1987 and has since surged. This day, everyone can play the pool, either that it's kids, man, boy, girl, old one, young one, everyone can play the game. This day, a pool becomes very popular, even in Purwokerto City. There are a lot of billiard arena. Maybe that's it for the billiard explanation. Thank you very much.